Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Hey Sister. Hey Sister, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going? Oh, now we got folks walking all behind me. Wait till the program starts.
Well, that's the kind of year we are having now, isn't it?
I guess so.
Hello. Well, tonight we are joined by one of our super fans, Miss Jody. Hey, Jody.
How are you?
Good. Okay,
Good.
so if you have it playing in the background on another device, you got to mute that sound so we don't get that feedback. If you are watching, thank you for joining us tonight for this evening of hot topics. We need you to join the conversation in the comments tonight because we got a lot to talk about, y'all. And as we said, this year is off to an more than an interesting start, because guess what? We halfway through. Can y'all believe it is July 5th?
I mean, yes, I'm kind of happy, I guess, because it's been crazy up until this point. So I'm like, we might as well speed through, and try to get to Christmas and see what the new year gonna bring.
At the rate we going, I don't know. Jordy, what about you? Can you believe we at the mid-year point?
It's the mid-year point. Who would have thought that we spent all this time in quarantine, in and out of quarantine?
Yes.
Whew. Like this, like double dutch, in and out, in and out.
More, and obviously with these numbers, more out than in.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
We try to jump in and get caught up in the rope. That's what's happening to us. We hang our damn selves. How about that? But we're going to talk more about that tonight. Listen, if you are watching, tuning in, say something in the comments. We want to see you in the comments tonight, getting involved in the show. And like I said, we're so happy to have one of our super fans, Miss Jody, in here with us tonight. And tonight is all about the hot topics. So you can also do us a favor. You can go to your page, or you can go from the Hey Sister page and share this on your page so that your friends can get involved in the conversation too. As you know, Hey Sister is all about, it's for sisters by sisters, and it's about sisters and misters. And we're going to be talking about some sisters and some misters tonight. That's but the first, I don't know if he a sister or a mister, but he sure is crazy. The first one we gonna talk about tonight is, okay, kudos to him for his deal with the Gap. We are so very proud of you continuing to grow your brand and your conglomerate, even though I think the clothing is hideous and the shoes are garbage. That's my personal opinion. I would not wear it because I wouldn't.
Uh-oh.
I
guess Spectrum is cutting up again.
Yep.
Well, let us see. Again, this is one of those years. Let's see how long it's going to take. 2020 is doing interesting things. Let's see how long it's going to take for the sister to get back. Otherwise, I guess we're going to talk about Kanye. Well, Jody, I don't even know what. I heard about his deal with the Gap, but have you seen the clothes? Are they hideous? We know Spectrum. We just continued the conversation.
She's back. Look at her face.
Y'all knew what it was, didn't you?
Yes, we did. Look, let me turn off all my other devices right now.
I'm about to go listen. Y'all know Spectrum has been having me fit to be tied, but whatever. Anyway, Kanye for president. You were talking about the hideous attire, but you tell me, what do y'all think about this one, Mr. The son of Donda deciding to run for president?
I'm gonna let our super fan go first.
Well, no. I mean, I guess he probably fits into the category of some politicians where they lie, because didn't he say he had this story where his whole thing of supporting Trump wasn't true? It was just a ploy. Didn't we read that somewhere?
Mm-hmm.
No. So what party is he going to run under?
Mm-hmm.
Nah, it's a no for me. Sorry.
All right, it's a no for Jody. If you're watching, tell us what you think. Sister, what do you think?
Well, I'm really trying to understand the point. And I mean, because number one, yes, what party are you going to run as? I mean, so it's interesting because last week, I don't know who I was having this conversation with, but the whole John Bolton thing came up again, and I was saying how, this guy is saying, well, he's going to write in a conservative's name. And I'm like, you wasting our time and your vote, because if you hate Trump to the level that you claim to hate him, or if you despise him, or you don't feel like he's a real conservative, or you don't feel like he knows what he's doing, then why spend your time writing in another candidate's name unless you and all the Repubs are getting together in a back room and like, we gonna tell him we vote for him, but when we get to the convention, we're gonna do something different. And I mean, and theoretically, obviously, we always say they're the presumptive candidate because or presumptive nominee, excuse me, because until they get to the convention where they're officially, the delegates officially nominate them as a candidate from their party and say, hey, we're putting all of our delegate count behind you or what have you. So in theory, if they wanted to completely rock the boat, I guess they could come together and present someone new. That can happen on both sides, Democrat or Republican. But seeing as I hear nobody talking about that, and maybe I'm just not privy to those conversations, I'm trying to figure out what is Kanye's strategy at deciding to run. And maybe I'm thinking too much of it. Maybe like I shouldn't even care. But I'm just trying to figure out. It's July.
We have a comment here that says, how many ways can I say heck no?
Well, it's July and it comes in November. We're electing the next president of the United States in November. And his wife just made the billionaires list. So they obviously have the money to put behind a campaign. But are you running as an independent? Whatever he plans to do, I just want to know, how do you plan to, who are you trying to screw with this decision? And if you really truly are not a Trump supporter, then it feels like you're trying to screw Democrats with this decision, because I don't see you trying to screw him.
Right.
But I don't know. I don't know the theory behind, and you're not running as an independent, obviously. So I don't know.
Here's the thing. We don't know what he's running as of this day. He's just made this declaration, which he's made many declarations before, because he declared he was no longer bipolar. So he's made lots of declarations along the way.
Right.
So he has always said he was going to run for office.
He did.
He said 2024. That was his projection, but now he's throwing his name in the hat.
Well, the first time it was supposed to be 2016, I thought, when he did the MTV Music Awards many years ago, and he got on stage and said he was running for president. And I think that was supposed to be 2016 at that time. And then that's why with him and Trump and all that friendliness, it was like, wait, I thought you were. Anyway,
we have already done this experiment, America. So this is what I'm going to say on this subject. You have already done this experiment. You bet on a television show host. Is basically being the Apprentice television show. He was the host of a television show. You bet on a television show host who had a real estate business and a marketing business, because we know the West family and the Kardashian West clan, they are great at marketing. So we've already bet on someone who had marketing capacity. Governing capacity is the issue here. Can you govern? Can you lead? Can you assemble a team that can deal with crises like ding, 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 ding. Our next topic, coronavirus. It ain't going away. No time soon in this country. Why? Because we don't have a coordinated federal and state response. We don't have governance that's taking place that is based in science and facts and allowing people who are experts in their field lead the way. We have someone who is in real estate and marketing who is leading the way and making decisions about how they feel and not by the facts. And so whether it's Trump,
well, let's not taint real estate or marketing.
I'm not saying
I'm just saying I don't think that part has to do with it, because even people
well,
in real estate
that's your expertise. Governing is not your expertise.
So I'm just gonna challenge. I don't think that either one of those things are his expertise either.
No, and that's another conversation for another day.
So I'm just saying, and as somebody who works in marketing or does a lot of things related to marketing, I know I'm not a medical doctor, but I have enough sense to rely on people who are. So that's why I'm like, they don't put that on his expert. He don't have an expertise other than being a fool. He's an expert at being a fool.
But that's what the point, if being a real estate mogul is great, and knowing how to market and doing these marketing deals to put your names on buildings and get all of this disclosure.
Remember, we still haven't seen those tax returns, so we don't know how good he is at any of that.
We don't. Absolutely, I don't discount that. But the point still remains: governing, you follow expert advice and you gather a team of experts and you have good sound judgment. I don't know, Jody. What say you?
He doesn't have good sound judgment, if you ask me. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's like, I'm not a doctor. I don't pretend to play one, but he thinks he knows everything. He doesn't listen. And like you said, we're just flailing in the wind. Each state is doing what they want to do. We're the laughing stock. Like I told you yesterday, I'm embarrassed because I know other countries are like, they're just like crazy. What is really going on? And he just seems to make a mockery of what the doctors say. Why have them there if you're not going to listen to what they say? Mm-hmm. He wants to make a big deal. But what I don't understand is how so many people in his camp have tested positive, and he's fine. He's negative.
He's the vector. He done had the Rona, and he probably still has the Rona and spreading the Rona as an asymptomatic carrier, but they're never gonna publish that he got the Rona. He's the vector because all the people in his camp keep getting it, right?
He has to be. He has to be. And he probably hasn't even been tested. They lie so much.
Well, like someone said the other day, well, why was he taking these treatments prophylactically if he didn't have it?
Yeah, he was experimenting on himself. I just wanted to say something, sister. You mentioned, not having a coordinated federal response, and
I mentioned that how many months ago?
You've been mentioning it quite a lot since we started. And Jody was mentioning that each state is kind of flailing in the wind doing their own thing, but it's down to every jurisdiction is flailing in the wind doing
pretty much thing.
Yeah. Obviously, we all live in hot spots. Look at God when He do it. Just put us all in the middle of the hot spots to see if we're gonna stay ourselves inside. And I think for the most part we've been doing very well, but when I look at China, when I look at Italy, when I look at South Korea, when I look at other countries that have sort of pushed through, if you will, I can't help but to feel like the reason that we're failing so miserably is because every damn thing always comes down to an issue of race in this country. And I really feel like the difference is if you live in Italy, you're Italian. Mm-hmm. And yes, there are light Italians, there are dark Italians, and
they're immigrants.
They're immigrants and they have issues, right? But you're Italian. when you're in China, you're Chinese. They have fewer immigrants, but they still have their immigrant population, what have you. But when you're in the United States, it just seems like we want to believe that there's only a certain class of individuals who are American. And this virus has revealed so much about systemic racism and how it is ingrained in our healthcare system. But the response there's just been so many implications, racial implications in the response. And that's really why I feel like we're not getting better. We're not getting better because as soon as people thought, this was a Black disease, it's the Black people getting it? Oh, okay. Well, let me get back to my restaurants. I got to get my hair cut. I listened to Meghan McCain on The View the other day. She drives me damn crazy. But she was trying to suggest that liberals, because everybody's liberals have a problem with, they're blaming the Republicans as far as the spread of the virus. But when it came to these protests and when it came to the pride parades, it was okay. No, nobody was saying that during pride parades it was okay to be out there not wearing masks. And nobody said that during the protest it was okay to be out and about not wearing masks. But why you didn't have that same energy when the armed militias were at the state houses demanding, with no masks on, that we open back up? It's a problem. Whatever reason you out socializing with large groups of people, it's a problem. I don't care if it's little baby's graduation from kindergarten or college. I don't care if it's a protest. I don't care if, again, you are the armed militia. What y'all don't understand that coronavirus don't give a damn if you're a Republican or a Democrat. What don't they understand that coronavirus ain't like, you know what? George Floyd sure did die. I'm not showing up at this protest. But we have made everything a racial issue, and that's why we can't heal.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So,
well, I will say this. So we are in the state that has had in the past 4 days 44,000 plus new cases, and we have over a double-digit positivity rate. I think the positivity rate in terms of tests, because they tried to blame it on having more tests, but the positivity rate is going up. Hospitalizations going up. I've had private message from a friend yesterday who's in Texas, who is in a hospital system, and was like, we just had a all-call meeting and it's scary. Of course, they can't divulge everything because they're in administration. Right. We had Dr. Jamie on last week, who's in Memphis, who talked about having to wear the same mask for 4 days. Listen, people, this ain't no joke. And these jurisdictions, whether it's at the local level, I see more progress at the local level of people taking it serious than I see at the state level. Because our governor, these people still talking about opening school.
Yep.
Well, they are here too.
And you're in Arizona as well, which is another one. It's like, this is absolutely ridiculous. But the data has also shown that there has not been a rise directly related with the limited contact tracing that we do have. So let's say that. But there has not been a rise associated with protests because those things were outside and most of those people did have masks on.
Right.
Anything that you in a closed environment, you are increasing the likelihood of transmission. And so what do? We have the supposed leader of the nation do a rally. And yes, fewer people than he hoped to be there. But here go Herman Cain. Now he in the hospital. Okay, Herman.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm not laughing at him. I'm not laughing at him being in the hospital.
Then we gonna go, but now you won't go to South Dakota. You won't go to South Dakota, to Mount Rushmore, you want to go on where Native Americans are disproportionately being impacted and bring all of y'all funky selves out there with no mask because it's a joke. This is the thing, and I wrote a little bit about this today in my Facebook post. Freedom ain't free.
Mm-mm.
Freedom comes with a social contract. E pluribus unum, that everybody want to shout on our money. It's out of many one.
Yeah.
Out of many one. So that means that social contract it's all for one and one for all. That we're supposed to be doing things for the good of one another.
Well,
and you're absolutely right. Systemic racism has shown up in this virus. The classism, the issues around poverty, the issues around who's an essential worker and who's not. Mm-hmm. All of those things have come up. This fallacy about our economy, this whole jobs report. Oh yeah, look how good the jobs report. Somebody lost their job, but they were furloughed and they got their job back, and that means we had a great jobs report. No, we still at a negative. Stop it. It's like all of this ridiculousness. Let me get off this subject. We got some comments here. We got a book comment here. Oh, let's see. First we have when people are doing push-ups in a darn street over a gym being closed.
Well, I'm okay with you do all your push-ups in the street, baby. This 110 degrees out here. Ain't too many push-ups you gonna get out. So
but the point is you doing push-ups that shows that you can work out at home and be fine.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Look, I wasn't good with commingling sweat before COVID. I'm certainly not doing it now.
Amen. And these places are not cleaning up. And that's the thing, I'm sorry, to go to the comments, I'm gonna finish.
And the amount of people who still give two S words, shits. And when he said 99% of the people with COVID are doing fine. Right. That part. And then we have one more. It says, it's sad that the response to the virus is political.
Yep.
It's absolutely sad that it's political and not scientific. So,
yeah. Well, I was just going to say, look, and what I was making a point about the protest, I'm definitely not saying don't protest, because the other sad part is for many of us, it's like, you know what? We feel more afraid of getting shot by the police than we do of getting COVID. And that's a problem in and of itself. So I'm definitely not saying don't protest. But what I'm saying is any gathering, of course, where there are a bunch of people with whom you don't live or see on a regular basis, you're probably going to put yourself at risk and them at risk. And so, I was telling you how one of our sorority sisters posted the other day about this minister in Baton Rouge. I don't know the fellow's name. I'd have to look it up. But he put this post out there about going to dialysis and how he is so uncomfortable wearing this mask for so many hours taking dialysis. And it's like, do you fundamentally do you hear yourself, sir? While you was typing that, nothing in your mind said, this sounds stupid as hell.
Right. I read that.
You're on dialysis, which means you have an underlying health condition, which means your immune system is already compromised. And you take issue with going sit in the center, which you can have dialysis at your house. I'm sure you do well enough financially as a pastor of a mega church or whatever kind of church. It looked like he probably got a lot of folks at his church. You do well enough to have this treatment at your house. But you mean to tell me that you can't sit in a dialysis treatment facility and think, if not of yourself, of all the other people that are there, and put a mask on your face? And that's why all my comment was, because see, if you're trying to teach me about the word of God and you're trying to teach, lead the flock, well, if a mask is a problem, thank God you ain't got to do nothing like die on the cross for somebody's sins, huh?
That part.
Because that sounds like a sacrifice. Wearing a mask, I think we could get around that one. Or we could do that, but not get around it. I don't want you to get around
But
it.
when people complain about the mask, it just lets me know how selfish they are. They're
Right.
not considering other people. I don't have to wear a mask. There's nothing wrong with me. It's not for you. You're wearing it to protect others, and they don't want to do that. That's selfish.
Mm-hmm.
But Jody, as one semi-germaphobe or master germaphobe to another, it is about me. And that's a part of, and if you want to call it selfish, cool. I want to selfishly not have your germs on me. That's the part. Like, how are you going to be selfish and not put yourself at the highest part of this conversation? Like,
Right.
if you're selfish, then wear the mask for yourself to protect yourself. That is,
That's yeah.
So I don't even know, and don't tell me about no freedom and rights. Child, that is not because I'm at the point again where how is it that your right supersedes my right? So if I want to wear a mask, if you don't want to wear a mask, how does your right supersede my right?
And let's talk about rights right now. I'm gonna drop these comments. We're gonna come back to this rights thing. So it said, agreed, they can't be mad at our community's protest and not upset at their own. Got you on that one. And it's sad that they're asking the hospital staff to lie if they have COVID. My good girlfriend, RN, who worked in NY, had colleagues told to say they got COVID from a gas station.
What?
Okay. We had an amen on that. You're talking about the preacher. That's a word. This virus has exposed a lot of flaws in so-called leaders. That's for sure, because they're more trifling and than selfish. Ooh, that's a good one. Good one. Well, I'll say this. What people get wrong about their rights and the Constitution is to what you said. Your rights does not give you the ability to impose on my rights.
Right.
I have rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness as well. And if I have rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that means you can't knowingly cause me any hurt or harm, because then that's assault. That could be battery. That could be attempted murder. You know what I'm saying? There are all of these laws. So you going out knowingly trying to hurt someone else is illegal. Right? Our rights come with certain restrictions in laws and policies. So that's one. The other thing is your rights don't go onto private property. So you can't come up in my house and do what the hell you want to do.
Right.
You want to go in the Walmart and they got a sign that says you can't come up here with a mask and you need to stand on these dots and be 6 feet apart. But you want to clown? Are you kidding me? To me, that's just sheer stupidity. I won't even say it's willful ignorance. I think it's just sheer stupidity. I think some people are trying to get Facebook famous.
It's okay. See, I said that the other day because with all the Karens as well.
And they follow the crazy Karen hashtag too, and they want to be seen.
Y'all, you got to want to be seen because first of all, you're being recorded. So you all in the store throwing stuff out your basket. And for what? To get banned from the store? You all up in the lift cussing and fussing at the drivers because they ask you if you have a mask and you wear the mask. So now you done got banned from the lift? Like, you clearly are looking for something that the world is not giving you on a daily basis, because none of this makes sense. It is not that it's just not this hard. And if we had just done right from the beginning, we would, all the folks who hollering about going back to normal, which let's be clear, we don't need to go back because
no,
you was raggedy before this, America. Let's not.
What they proved is they don't wash their hands.
Right.
Some of y'all proved that y'all just nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the video with the grandmother? With the grandmother who was returning an item. She had her mask in her hand and she refused to put it on. And when the manager nicely talked to her and said, hey, ma'am, well, we're not going to be able to return this till you put the mask on. She just went on and on about it was her right. It was her privilege. She was American. And then she proceeded to sit down in the middle of the floor because she refused to put on a mask that she had on her hand.
Well, that's when they should have went in. What store was she at?
It was a Costco.
At Costco, they should have went down the disinfectant aisle and got a can of Lysol and sprayed all over her and said, "It's my right to disinfect you at this."
Or the ultraviolet light, since the said, you could just stick it in anywhere and it'll just clear everything up.
All right.
We got a comment here that says, any press is good press to a lot of people. That's for sure. Just being purposefully contrary. That's for sure. Let's see. Okay. Jody told me to come on here and write my comment. All right.
All right, Tita.
So I had said with the mask that specific people had no problem wearing a hood back in the day for hours. At this juncture, it's all about entitlement.
And their breathing was not impeded.
Girl.
And they don't. So that is so right. And all they have is holes for their eyes. They don't even have like a little nose hole or mouth cut out. They just have a hole for their eyes.
And it was all over their head. So there was
all over their head.
Ventilation whatsoever.
None.
Somebody said selfish indeed. Another comment here says, I read a post today that said it's not the government's responsibility to take care of health. I am responsible for my own health. The government is responsible for protecting my right. I thought it was absurd in the midst of a pandemic. This virus is unknown and out of control. The government has to take responsibility for our health at this level of crisis, but the government is also responsible for the health of its citizenry. I mean, that is one of the tenets of having a government. I just saw a video of a woman trashing a Target display of masks. She threw them on the floor.
Like, what did the masks do to you, man?
What did the mask? All masks matter. How about that? What Tita just said, can't wait to repost it. Somebody about to copy your comment and take it, girl. You better trademark it. Oh, so we are talking today. Yes, today is a day of hot topics. We telling it all today. Public health is most definitely a government function. Absolutely.
Especially since they have like a department dedicated to it. Or a few departments actually, but
we do have the National Institutes of Health. We do have the Center for Disease Control. We do have every state has a department. I'm just saying. But here's the thing.
But Donald Trump doesn't know any of that. So,
but this is the thing. Canada don't want us. Oh yeah, HHS, Health and Human Services, right? Canada don't want us. Europe said don't bring your ass over here. China about to say the same thing, because when you go back and look that the first day of the first positive case, South Korea and the United States had the first positive case on the same day. Yes, we have a different total number of population, but they've had, I think, 375 deaths. 175.
And we can't. 375 in a state would be amazing.
Over 130,000 deaths. We are at almost 2.5 million positive cases. When we say we are an exceptional country,
we are definitely exceptional.
We are exceptional for all the wrong reasons. And the facts are, we need to come out of this come out of this moment. Well, that's another thing. Follow the money, because that's also a reason why we're in the situation that we are in, because people are putting profit over people every day.
Yeah, just like our asinine governor. We got all these cases popping up here. The NBA, oh sure, come on down. The Republican National Convention, sure, come on down. Are you freaking kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
You got to be kidding me.
Well, what they'll probably do, Jody, like when Donald Trump was here in Arizona, he went to church and they have a special filtration system where they kill it.
That killed the
The
virus.
system kills the virus. Yeah.
Okay. How many NBA athletes are already positive right now?
One's too many.
Well, we know they were getting it early.
We know when they shut down, they had several positives. And we know that all of these colleges that have brought their football teams back for practice have numerous of positive cases.
Yeah. Clemson University,
Alabama, UCF, you name it.
Alabama. What about the college students who were playing this
the game? Let's catch the coronavirus.
Whoever catches the corona gets the pot.
Alabama, that's all I'm gonna say. Hey, sister, we got another one of our super fans.
Hey, Cam.
And let's see, I think 16 at last count, 16 NBA players that must be. But you can have so if there's a super spreader event, because we're gonna bring everybody together, all the players and the coaches, and they all gonna be at Wild World of Sports. Recipe for disaster. All right, we ain't talking about, let's talk about something else. So my sister brought this up to mine and Joda's attention right before we got on air tonight, because we had not seen this group here. But if y'all want to go just on YouTube, you can find it. Type in NFAC, the Not Effing Around Coalition. So what had happened was in Georgia, some of our people, and I'm gonna do like I'm gonna steal this from you, Funky Dineva. So if you ever watch this, just know I sold it for you. The ones that's black like this, not black like this. They have decided to take up arms and let the people know that they are armed and ready, and they ain't messing around. So, sister, you tell the folks about the individual.
You just said it. I mean, I got 2 messages from 2 different friends showing me, images from NFAC, and they basically letting y'all know y'all talking a lot of stuff, but we ready. Where y'all at? Now, of course, they were in Stone Mountain, Georgia at the time. And, back when Dr. King was doing his I Have a Dream speech, Stone Mountain was really like the Ku Klux Klan headquarters. And today it's a bunch of black people who left Atlanta and who live on the outskirts. So I'm not sure. I feel like they're preaching to the choir a little bit. Maybe Athens, I know not, Augusta, another city where there could have been a little bit more impact. But I hear you. You know what? We're about to take up arms. It's just funny that we've been having more and more conversations about arming ourselves because gun sales have gone up. And as y'all saw, Karen the other day at Chipotle pulled out a gun on the family because there was a dispute. She decided that she was going to pull a gun on the black family. So I guess a lot of people are like, hey, we're not going to find ourselves at the wrong end of a dispute. So they are, folks are arming themselves and they are ready for whatever race war may or may not take place.
So, folks, I want y'all to drop down in the comments and tell us what you think about people arming themselves at this time. So Katrina said, talking about those folks in front of the KKK. I'm not sure if they were in front of the KKK.
I don't think they were in front of them. I feel like they were.
We do know that there is Confederate monuments etched into Stone Mountain. I mean, the Stone Mountain itself is a monument to the Confederacy. So maybe that was a symbolic step. But so we have a couple things to talk about, and then we're gonna get into this last hot topic. So people taking up arms, what do y'all think about that? As well as these monuments coming down. So Christopher Columbus came down recently in Baltimore, And I mean, for me, I was like, Christopher Columbus never even stepped foot in this country. He never stepped foot on the land that we call the contiguous United States of America. So I don't know what the hell we had a statue of for anyway.
Well, sister, we also have plenty of cities named after him. There's a holiday. There's a lot that, I mean,
somebody who missed their target because their compass didn't work. I mean,
again, we're not going to blame the compass. I'm going to blame the operator of the compass.
I'm just saying, that's one of the things with our history. Jody just laughing at me. That's one of the things with our history. We like to build. I always say we like to build monuments to things and to people that just miss the mark. Yep. And it's like, why are we always
nothingness?
Put it in the history book. But why are we always building monuments to, like you said, nothingness? Why are we always building monuments to tragedies? Why we always have memorials about these certain events? Because what we do know is that as history goes on and in time, we know where the arc, as Dr. King says, the moral arc bends towards justice. So all these people who were about injustice or who didn't make it here, why we build monuments to them in the first place? But I don't know. So y'all drop down in this comments. Jody, what do you think about people taking up arms? We have a couple comments here. Well, one said they should have went to the governor's lawn. We don't talk. Listen.
They should have went to the governor's lawn after all those folks had to stand out there to vote. I was talking to my friend yesterday, and she said she had to stand out for 4.5 hours to early vote. And she said all she kept telling herself was too many people died. And we saw on the actual election day, the primaries, actual primary voting day, I mean, people were out there as long as 8 hours. So yeah, they sure should have gone to the governor's mansion and said, Brother Kemp, you want to fix this voting situation that you caused in the first place?
That point. Well, we have here the membership of the National African American Gun Association is growing. Also, that is not my choice or preference to own a firearm, but I don't begrudge folks who do. We have another comment that says, exactly, history, his story. America clearly only articulated the history it wanted, even if fabricated. We have, I understand the desire to arm yourself. I'm afraid to have one in my home, but I understand it. And then also all for arming. So those are some of the comments. So a lot of folks are believe in that. Jody, what do you think?
I'm all for arming. My oldest brother, is a gun collector in South Carolina. He teaches a concealed weapons course. And he asked me often, when was the last time you fired it? And when was the last time you cleaned it? Mm-hmm. So I'm all.
What's the answer, Jody? Because we need to know, because we can't go over to Jody's house. She just done told us, y'all. She ain't fired it and it ain't clean. We gonna get an old rusty bullet up in us.
I'm all for arming. And then when it comes to the statues, taking down the statues, yeah, okay, but that's not what we want. Or maybe I'm missing the boat. What does that have to do with what we want?
Well, I do think that it's in a lot of ways it's largely symbolic, and it's funny because I saw something, I think Kev posted it. He was like, about the Texas realtor thing, when you told me about that last week, the master bedroom being changed. And he was like, this guy tweeted like, they doing everything but what we asked them for. And I just think that's the summation of it. Look, when it comes to the Confederacy, I definitely think those monuments should be taken down. I do think that there is a place for them in appropriate museums if it's put in appropriate context. But apparently in this country, we have a problem with putting things in appropriate context in the first place. Mm-hmm. And thus we have them erected in the first place to be symbols of white supremacy, or to try to intimidate and invoke fear in people and things of that nature. But it's largely symbolic. I'm gonna need these. Look, I'm just put it like this. Right now, we're at a place in our history where white guilt is really messing with some people and they want to do. And if they want to do, I say let them do. If you want to give some scholarships to students to go to school, give them some scholarships. If you want to give us Juneteenth off, great, give us Juneteenth off. If you want to start another employee resource group or whatever in your organization to address racial inequities or whatever, sure. But we really do need to get down to some of these. I need y'all to invest in Black banks. I need y'all to invest in HBCUs. I need to see more emphasis on how helping Black women who own small businesses, are all small business owners, but particularly Black men and women. We need to, this conversation about reparations. There needs to be a real conversation about reparations and what that looks like. So while we getting, let's get it, but let's be very specific, and we don't need to change master bedroom, though, guys.
Let's say that it says, let's be strategic about our ask. We had another comment here. It says, let's stop celebrating the lie, especially the celebration of treasonous acts, which only began to be erected at the turn of the century to intimidate Black citizens. Same with the Confederate battle flag. We have someone who says, I live in Australia, which I know is very different to your country, but I cannot fathom the idea of ever owning a firearm. Thank you for sharing that. And I know that, again, I don't own a firearm. I have been to a driving range. That's golf.
We know you don't own a firearm.
So I've been to a firing range with someone for a birthday celebration. If my husband carried a gun, I would be okay with it because my husband was military trained. And so what they give in those concealed weapons class, I think people need to be taking classes all the time, because the power and the impact of a mistake with a firearm is too great.
Yeah.
And I don't carry one.
Yeah.
So let's see. We are probably the only country that allowed a defeated enemy to be celebrated. That's for sure. Let's see. When it comes to monuments that are built via the context of anything racist or designed to show white superiority, it definitely shouldn't. It's a visual violence. Yes, that's a comment there. HR 40 is moving through the Congress right now to study reparations. It's just a study, but it's more than anyone else has ever done towards the subject. So
and Patrice is our Sarah, by the way.
Hey, Patrice.
Yes, I know Patrice and from California. So
You know Patrice? Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
So I was going to say this. I saw he's an actor, comedian. I saw his comment on Twitter and I thought it was very interesting. And this was very telling. And it said that, once we get to this election and really when we get to 2020, we should really be calling for a new constitutional convention. Where you come together and you talk, because we all just watch Hamilton, right? So we know about.
We didn't all just watch Hamilton, but we've seen it before.
Just watch Hamilton because it came out. But I'm just saying, having the minds talk about who do we want to be as a country?
Right.
What's in our Constitution that is good? What do we need to amend at this point? Because when the Constitution was started, we were 3/5 of a human being, right? That was the Southern Compromise. That's what they talked about even in the musical, like the compromise. Well, what do we have to give these Southerners? Well, we're going to put, instead of the capital being in New York, we're going to put the capital in the South. We're going to put it in Virginia, right? All of these compromises that were made. There are compromises that need to be made right now about equity. The ERA is still not law. Like the Equal Rights Amendments, women, we are the majority population and we still don't have equal rights in this country. How about that? So we actually need a constitutional convention because we need to revisit these damn governing documents that are over 200 years old about who we want to be as a country for the next 200 years. And any good corporation, any good business, because they always want to run the country like a business. Well, all good businesses reevaluate their documents and their value statements and their governing documents.
And value statements, yeah.
How about that? So let's call for a new constitutional convention, because it's not going to be just the laws around policing. You know, we need to, that whole 13th Amendment needs to be reevaluated.
I will say that one relic, and I said this before, one relic of slavery that needs to be revisited, as well as the Electoral College. I mean, we need to really talk about the necessity for having that. So
the Electoral College, 2 senators for each state.
Right.
Yeah.
Child, let's talk about that. 2 senators. California has 2 senators. South Dakota has 2 senators.
Well, I mean, listen, I understand that in terms of trying to balance what we do in the House.
Live in South Dakota?
Huh?
How many people live in South Dakota?
I don't know, 10, 15. I don't know. But my point is, I get the balance of the House of Representatives and based on population versus the Senate being, just 2 per state. So that doesn't bother me as much as having the inability to work and compromise on things and to be strictly voting along party lines. That aggravates me more than you having 2 senators from South Dakota. It aggravates me more that people, even when they know, and they have to know intellectually that something is not right, they're going to vote against their own interests because it falls within their parties,
Well, I'm going to just say Kentucky's 2 senators are Rand Paul and Mitch McConnell, and Louisiana 2 senators are Kennedy.
All need to be replaced.
So I'm just going to say, I would want California to have a couple more senators right now, and New York to have a couple more senators right now. And
I mean, I would love that too, but remember, and this is what people forget, and I know Patricia can attest to this, the California that y'all want people to come from.
Oh, we know.
Okay.
In California too, I know.
California has a large number of white supremacist groups as well, and there are parts of California I don't want them to have a senator.
Some more representation, yeah, because they had Daryl Issa. So yeah, we have Who Watched Mrs. America is on Hulu. So if you haven't watched it, very interesting about the GOP white women who organized to block the ERA ratification. But now we have one more. We just in 2020, the final state, I think Virginia, voted to ratify it. So now it has to go through the congressional process. It's crazy. And DC is not a state yet. And neither is Puerto Rico or Guam. Come on, we got some things to do here. All that constitutional convention needs to be revisited. I need you to come on my podcast and talk about all of that. Okay, tell us when. Let's then live in one council district. Let's then live in one council district in the city of Los Angeles, or it feels that way.
That's South Dakota.
That's South Dakota. Right. We could run Google the numbers real fast.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Yeah, expressions. I know. Say that. She talking about that them Orange County Republicans in California. We know who they are.
The current population of South Dakota is estimated at 858,469, which shows an increase from the 2010 census. The state currently enjoys a growth rate of 1.17%, which ranks 11th in the country in terms of its growth rate. So, South Dakota said they're on the move.
1% at a time. But we about to kill that 1% because we're going to have a rally at Mount Rushmore and now you're going to have social distancing and all y'all chairs are locked together and you can't even move and nobody has a mask on. So that 1% growth is about to be negative. How about that?
Well, as long as I will ask all of my indigenous people, please don't show up at that rally, not even to protest. Let Donald, the vector, continue to spread his love throughout his closest associates.
All right. So last couple of comments on this, and we're going to do our last hot topic for the night. So it says the legislative branch, particularly the Senate, has been bastardized. The Senate's primary responsibility was to protect the welfare of the entire nation, whereas the House was in place to protect the interests of the districts in their state. It's no longer the case. Absolutely, 100%. Okay, so the population of South Dakota is like 2.5 council districts or 1.5 congressional districts in California. Hence, we now need term limits rather than change the number.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah.
That's good. We'll go with that. Term limits on House and Senate. Bam. I'm with you on that. But y'all, our last hot topic of the night, we saved this one for last because it's a little bit on the salacious side. The salacious side. Have y'all heard this story about one Miss Jada Pinkett Smith and Mr. August Alsina, the artist? If you have, we want you to drop in the comments and talk about it. So let's do this. I'm gonna start with you, Jody, because you were new to this subject tonight, but you are a woman of a certain age. And if you had the opportunity to get with you a younger man, come on, Jody, tell us what you think. Well, let me set it up. Smith is rumored to have been involved with August Alsina.
Yes.
With her husband's permission.
That's what he says.
That's what August say. Bam.
That's what he says. That's what he says. Yeah.
I got my green Solo cup today. I'm gonna go ahead and sip while you talk.
And so, we were talking about it before the show. So if that was the case, why, and your husband, he can put his comments in, why would he go out and blast that to the whole world? Well, there's an album. Either it's coming out or already out, and maybe he wants to boost his sales. It gets him trending. But I think if it did happen, it was very immature of him to put it out there like that. Now, as for me, yeah, I'm going to have to say no for 200, Alex. It's just not going to happen. Mm-mm.
Well, let's
see what the people are saying here. His latest IG post was like, boom, to me.
What was the latest IG post?
I don't know. I'm gonna go wait, girl. You gotta tell us about the latest. I wish I could.
Right. Don't you say there was a latest post? What'd he say? What'd he say?
Find a screenshot for me. My phone is on the charger over here. We have one says discretion and discernment and discretion. Yes. Actually, the rumor has been out for years. He denied it for a long time. Yes.
And so now he's saying it's true.
Yes. Now he's saying it is true. He denied it for years.
So I guess the post that you're saying is the video from the actual.
Oh, I saw a picture of him and his third leg. I think he should have kept quiet.
Okay.
And the real movie. I'm just saying.
So let's talk about that.
Man, or else he deserves an award. Ooh.
So I want to go back to the Will movie because now this is what we were talking about before. So Jada has decided that she's going to bring herself to the red table. Now, everybody knows Jada Pinkett Smith, but everybody doesn't know the red table. So therefore, she has a project. You're telling me now we got a Will movie and we got an August album. So perhaps this was, again, when y'all were talking about the relationship contract between these three parties, maybe this was a part of that relationship contract. I don't know. What I do know is the man sounded like he was about to cry. What I do know is the brother said that if he dies,
it's on the screen right there. Patrice done saying it right here. He said he died right now, knowing he lived his life.
Yes.
Right now, knowing I've lived my life and I gave my all
to the relationship, and that he has felt a level of love or something that he had not felt before, because everybody doesn't get that type of love in their lifetime, and he has. So with that being said, I just look at it like I don't doubt that something happened. And what I think it speaks to, so it may be an unpopular belief, but I feel like people structure their marriages the way they structure their marriages. Again, Will and Jada have said that we talked about when they were on the red table together, and she basically said, you could be over there with whoever you with, I'm gonna be over here with whoever I'm with, but we in this together forever for life. So basically, there is no breaking up the Smiths. The Smiths are riding this till the wheels fall off. Now, We know that there have been rumors about them swinging over the years. There's been rumors about people being sexually fluid, whatever. Obviously, somebody in the contract didn't either Mr. Alcina failed to read the fine print, and he did not have the same understanding of the contractual terms and agreement as the Smiths did, or all of this is to get us talking about their various projects.
Maybe, I don't know, but I'm trying to see this latest post since Tita saying we need to see this.
I don't see a post. I see videos. I don't see the words.
Yeah, girl, tell us what the post say.
Yeah.
I just put it in the comments, man.
I see a bunch of videos.
Ooh, wow. So here's what I say. I believe consenting adults can do what consenting adults want to do.
This is true.
I do believe that in married couples, I think if married couples come to some sort of agreement about what they want to do with their intimate relationship and their intimate life, that's their business. But I also believe that when you go into these type of situations, please make sure that the contracts are ironclad, because there's always the opportunity for things to get out and be made public.
Right.
Now, we don't live in a time. My husband and I were talking about the show Hollywood, the on Netflix, right? We don't live in a time where people hold them secrets until everybody's dead. We don't live in that time. We
live in the time where they want to film it right then and there.
Yes, we don't live in that time, because there was a time. I mean, we don't live in a time, even in our politics. We all know that Kennedy had all types of other women in extramarital affairs. We don't live in a time where the press knew. The press didn't write about it. There was an agreement. The social contract was different. The times are different. So someone says here they've been swingers for years. It's just how they put them on blast for an album. So I don't know if they've been swingers for years, or they just have an agreement that, hey, because swinging implies we're both involved in that intimate relationship. And so maybe that is the case. Maybe they both were involved in that relationship. I don't know.
And maybe that's why Will agreed to it.
And maybe that's why he agreed to it. Maybe, I don't know. But so that implies one thing. But adults saying, hey, you know what? We're in this together. We're partners. If you want to get your rocks off somewhere else, go ahead and just keep out. Because see, when Monique came out about this and talked about her and her husband some years ago having an open marriage and what that meant for them.
Right.
People went all off on Monique. But you know what? Grown folks can do whatever they want to do, as long as all parties are in agreement. If all parties are in agreement, then you good. But if all parties are not in agreement, then you have an issue. And I think that as the elders in this situation, because yes, you might be flying 40 and 50, but you're talking about someone who's in their 20s who's also been troubled and also has had addiction issues.
Right. And that's one of the comments that was
with. So let's see, does he really lose out in violating the agreement? Will they really go after him for breach of contract? I don't know. We don't know what the NDA, so maybe they need better than you did. So she said she read it, screenshotted. I will stand after because it'll go off. I'll drop off. Okay, yep, you're on your phone. All right. My only concern is that he was definitely going through things mentally and addiction-wise years ago. I hope that no one took advantage of anyone's weaker state.
Yeah.
So we have a exactly and a yes. So that's what I'm saying.
So Demetria, I wanted to go back to see Nishana had a comment because Kiana has sent me the picture where she said what you said earlier was misinterpreted. At least I misinterpreted.
Oh, well, Nishana saying maybe Will didn't know how long it would last. I thought he was speaking out because he was already losing money. And that's what he did say in the interview. He's already been losing. He's lost money. He's lost opportunities.
Because of this.
Yes, yeah. Will influence and power can stop a young man from working. He may feel like he doesn't have anything else to lose. That's possible.
Well, no, I was talking hers. She said, I saw pics of August and Jada did that. And I was saying, Kiana sent a pic. And I think her previous comment Kiana's previous comment might have gotten misinterpreted when she said he should keep that to himself. It looks like the Lord has shined on the young man. And so, therefore, Jada is probably out. Yep, probably said, hey, let's see what this is about.
Listen, God bless the young man. All I'm gonna say, God bless him.
Yeah, I think I agree though with Jessica's point. I think because look, he came on the Red Table on Jada's show as a friend of their family, as having had dealt with mental issues and depression and addiction and all of those things. And I think when you know that somebody is in that sort of state, we would hope that an adult, and then yes, he is an adult legally, but someone who's about 20 years his senior at this point, we would hope that they would not take advantage of somebody in a weaker state. Because if you and your husband, you decided that it is okay for you to have certain rules in your relationship, that's fine. But like I said, I think the issue is that whatever the contract, the social contract, the actual contract, NDAs, whatever it was, somehow I don't believe that he understood it to be the same that the Smith did. Mm-hmm. And that's why I think he's speaking out on it also. Yeah. Because it sounds like he's a really broken man at this point.
And of course, my husband says break the rules, live with the consequences. But listen, I don't know. I don't know what happened. None of us were there.
And yes, T-Top, that is what I meant. Yes.
There is a lot of adoring photos that are no longer posted, but of course, y'all know social media, it lives forever. There's a lot of very cozy and comfortable photos of the two that I, as a mother of someone who's almost 18, would be technically an adult, one of his friends, I would not be that looking at booed up with one of my son's friends if I was trying to help them.
Right.
If they were seeing me as a mother figure.
Right.
But
your husband is giving him no.
Yes, let's get it ready for the red table. Well, so she said that she's bringing herself to the red table because there's healing that needs to take place. That's all the message said. And then my husband said, crying, and listen, Jeffrey. So it's very interesting. I would love to hear male point of view on this, but I would say, let's say the tables was turned and it was Will and one of Willow's friends.
Ooh. And even though she was an adult, right? So Willow's friend, if she was 20, well, Will is like 50, so 30 years younger. So or 20 years younger, so 30 years old, 30 and 50. Mm-hmm. And they had that social contract, although they thought. And then she was like, no, I done got with Will Smith. And I talked to Jada about it, thought we were all on the same page. And will we have the same feelings about it? Will we be there while she's crying? Or will we feel like, he might have manipulated that young girl?
He might have manipulated that young girl, you old dirty man. Right. The power. Wait. Jail. Okay. I was trying to get. Let's see. I was thinking about that as well. Booed up with your children. Say yes. It will be an entirely different discussion. Absolutely. The power dynamic is not balanced at all, male or female. Exactly. That and she will catch the same smoke. Shut your mouth. Okay. Lies. He's lying, y'all. They will not be giving Will the grace that Jada is receiving from some. No. And that was the outcry with Monica Lewinsky and President Clinton. Absolutely. And whose life and the long-term trajectory of their life has had more leveling off of what her career potential could have been. Right? Mm-hmm. Boom. Men have been with younger women since the beginning of time. Yes, they have. And hey, let's face it, women have been with younger men since the beginning of time is also.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get a term like a cougar just out of nowhere. It's been happening.
However, we know that, but in this society, in terms of it doesn't matter to me right now. It doesn't matter. The power structure is the maturity level.
Yes.
The balance of power there. So why does this matter? It matters because we won't talk about it, Brian.
No, I mean, why does the issue?
What
part? I guess I need to know. What do you mean? Why does what?
And their concubines.
Oh,
Hillary didn't agree to that contract. August will and Jada agreed. That's fair.
According to what was said, yes. We don't know. I don't know. We don't know. We just know what he has said publicly. We know what he denied for years. We know what she's denied for years. And now she didn't put a, so it's going back and what I'm talking about the color purple stuff. Yes. So here, like I said, consenting adults can do what consenting adults do. I think in the big scheme of things. So why does it matter? This was just our last hot topic, and it was the most salacious one, and that's what we wanted to talk about to end. We talked about the really hot topics of import, the coronavirus. We talked about
I'm sorry.
Oh my God. Yes, we got book. We talked about coronavirus. We talked about Kanye running for president and the implications around that and governance. And we talked about what else did we talk about? Y'all, I done forgot already. Look at that.
We talked about NFAC.
Oh yes, NFAC and people taking up arms, and what does that mean? Because I think gun sales are going through the roof. I think people think they can shoot the coronavirus away, but that's not what it is. I don't know. So let's see. Last few comments. Child, let them folks go ahead and bring the D. It's their live. Okay. Let's see. Gotta log out, but this was great. I have to catch y'all live more often. We hope you do.
Yes.
Oh, let's see. She still different. Monica was definitely in a position where her power was not equal to Mr. Clinton, regardless of the agreement or lack thereof. We have all live topics to matter. And then Connie Bernard, girl, did Connie resign?
I don't know. She still needs to resign, apparently. Gary has said, "Go home, Connie." Yes. Hashtag go home, Connie.
Connie still needs to go home, but so do a few more people needs to go home. So that means what we want to say, y'all, is get out there and vote
for everything.
Vote like your life depends on it. Vote up and down ballot. School boards matter.
Sheriffs matter.
Your homeowners association matter. It all matters. Run for office. Wait, let's see. Yes, run for office. So kind of a regular dress skirting style. And then vote. That's what we want to say. So folks, we want to thank you for tuning in tonight. Like, follow, and share. We were live tonight on Facebook and on YouTube. So like us over there on YouTube and let your friends subscribe to our YouTube channel. Let them know that we're here and that we have this platform and this content. Yes, you did miss some fun. Attend all public meetings. Newspapers matter. Yes, everything. Vote, everybody. So thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Jody, as our super fan, we want to thank you for joining us tonight. Tell us about your Hasten's experience and when can we expect you back in the comments?
Oh no, what is happening?
Oh, wait. Her spectrum acting up now. Spectrum is a lie.
Oh my goodness.
How you want to close out tonight?
If she doesn't come back, I just want to thank everybody for jumping in the comments. This was really fun. I appreciate. Oh, there she is. Go ahead, Jody.
I'm sorry, I didn't even hear what you asked me.
I was just asking you what thank you for joining us and tell us when can we expect you back in the comments?
Next week. It's interesting that I was on. I enjoyed this. I was on Facebook and I was thinking earlier. I'm like, I haven't seen a Hey Sister thing saying that they're going to be on tonight. Maybe they're not going to be on because it's Jazz's birthday. And then as soon as I refreshed Facebook, I saw it. I said, oh, cool. And then at 7:30, I got this message from the mission said, you want to be online? I'm like, yeah, okay. So this was fun. I enjoyed it. So I'll be back in the comments on next week.
All right, for sure. Thank you so much. All right, sister. Final words.
No, I was just saying thanks to everybody. Thank you all so much. Kiana, thank you for fighting a good fight there. And Tipno, I know what you meant about the newspapers matter, about what's happening with the Daily Comment there. Thanks everybody for joining us and chiming in. This was really, really fun. So I look forward to us doing another night of hot topics with you great people. And thank you, Jody. We loved having you a part.
Yes, we loved having you on. And so if you are one of our super fans, we're going to be calling you too. So Byron, we got to have you on because we hadn't talked in years.
Yes.
So we want you on Hey Sister as well. You know, we'll pick a safer topic because I gotta protect everybody's job. We don't want nobody losing their job. All right, folks, have a good night. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.